Hey everybody, this is Brad Alexander with Kinta with Waterstone Mortgage, and today is the inaugural first ever Keeping It Local, Keeping It Real. Because if you know Kinta and myself, we do a good job of keeping it real. So, what are our plans on? Um, we just want to come on social media and kind of explain to everyone, what's going on in the real estate market. What have we heard about what's going on in the Kyle Buda, Hayes County, what's going on around here. So today's the first video. I'm Brad Alexander with the Alexander Home Team, a local realtor in town. And let me introduce to you Kinta Went with Waterstone Mortgage.
Hi everyone, my name is Kinta. I'm with Waterstone Mortgage. I have lived in Kyle for over 14 years now, and I have been in the mortgage industry for a little over 18. I came from California and did subprime loans over there, and I've been working my way up and love living in Kyle, and I love doing local loans for people around town.
We will not hold it against Kinta, the fact that she came from California.
Hey, I moved here as quick as I could.
She got here as quick as she could. Goodness gracious. So with that being said, Kinta, I'm sure you saw my Facebook post last night about it was a meme. It was a joke. I stole it from somebody else. I'll be completely honest. But the joke was, trying to buy a house these days in this market is kind of like trying to find a roll of toilet paper back in April.
Exactly.
And we all laughed. And if you've bought a house over the last couple months, if you've shopped for a house, if you are in the real estate industry or mortgage industry, then you would know that post was, although it was funny, it was very true. So, and the main concept is our whole world revolves around supply and demand. And with that being said, there's not a lot of houses out there for sale. So buyers are going to have to make themselves make a stronger offer. And maybe you could talk a little bit about how a buyer can make a stronger offer.
Right. So yes, it was tongue in cheek, but so very true and relevant to what is going on in our market right now since COVID has hit. With COVID hitting, we have seen it become a lot more difficult for buyers to just walk in and wait 4 days and then put in an offer. By then, there's 15 offers on that house. So my advice to everybody, what I've been preaching is, if you are in the market to buy a home, if you're thinking, because you've been shopping on the internet and looking and you already know what you like, if any of that has happened to you, if you've clicked on a house and said, maybe we should sell, get pre-approved first. Why? Because you're going to go visit that house that Brad's going to show you. And by the time you walk out, go home, and then try and get pre-approved, they already have 3 offers on the home. They're ready to accept one. So before you even take that step, I'm preaching to people to go ahead and get pre-approved now, so you know your buying power and you can walk in confidently and say, I want to put in an offer right now. Whip out your laptop. Let's do this.
So if a buyer does get pre-approved, how long does that pre-approval last for?
So our pre-approvals are good for about 60 days. After that, we would want to maybe refresh your credit, look at things, make sure all the payments have been made on time. So 60 days. Within 60 days, I feel like somebody's going to be able to find a home. And then quickly after that, I can go ahead and update that pre-approval and get a new one out to you.
I also think, a lot of people out there, there was a guy that commented on my Facebook post last night, and he said it was kind of like people knew the pandemic was here, it was going on, and I think people thought the market was going to crash.
Right.
So they waited a month, thinking that the market was going to crash when actually the market went up. So, then it got real competitive on buying. And so this person on Facebook kind of compared it to the stock market. I think we all wish we would have invested in Zoom back in
right.
And a lot of people were planning on moving this summer, and then the pandemic hit, and they're like, well, maybe we should wait a couple of weeks and see what happens. Well, a couple of weeks, and next thing you know, it's a very competitive market.
Exactly. I think that's what was coming down the wire, was people were thinking that this was going to be another 08 episode. And it was not going to ever become that. We live in a completely different society of how we do mortgage loans, how we appraise homes, rules and regulations that have been put into place since 2008. That was a housing bubble that popped. That was due to people getting adjustable rate mortgages. This is completely different. This wasn't something that we as homeowners could control. It was out of our hands.
I also think that we need to settle the myth, the rumor that lenders aren't lending. That's not now. Have they tightened up a little bit on restrictions here and there on certain types of loans? We talked today about jumbo loans being a little bit different now, but the fact of the matter is you can still get that loan. And so the lenders haven't stopped lending on houses.
Oh, quite to the contrary, is that we've actually had some of our record-breaking months since COVID happened, which once again, nobody really saw coming, but I think what people were motivated to move. They were motivated to buy. And lenders all around, not only with new purchases, were getting bombarded with refinances too. So people wanting to refinance their home took advantage of the low interest rates, and that just kind of saturated the market. Took a little longer to do a refinance maybe, but we are still lending. There are some programs that have been pulled. There are some guidelines that have been tightened, FICO scores, things like that. But on the most part, I've been pre-approving people left and right. And the pre-approval process is just as simple as filling out a loan interview worksheet and letting me know where you stand, giving me a few key pieces of information, and I'm able to verify your income, verify your assets, and make sure that you truly qualify. It's not just a pre-qualification, it's a pre-approval. I'm going through it and making sure that you have all of those things in place so that it's a clean file all the way to closing.
And that's one thing that, when we talk about sellers, so we've been talking about buyers, but if you're a seller, I know as an agent that I focus on sellers a little bit more than buyers. But whenever I have a listing and I get 3 offers on a house, one of the things that I look at that I'm going to coach up the seller on is, hey, here's the 3 offers. This offer may be $1,000 less, but they're working with Kinta. I have Kinta's cell phone number instead of they're working with bank XYZ. And in order to get an update on the loan, I've got to call 18 people to just find out if the loan, what stage the loan's in. So in a competitive market like this, realtors need to advise their sellers that using a reputable local lender really helps out a lot.
Yes, I completely agree. And one of the things that I do is I'll actually call the listing agent knowing that my client has put in that offer. I'll give that listing agent a call and say, hey, my name is Kinta, I'm with Waterstone. I'm repping Mr. Smith. Just wanted to let you know I pre-approved him. He's well qualified. As much information as I can legally give them, I give. And they really appreciate that. Hey, this is my cell phone number. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. And one of their main questions is, how fast can we close? Are you still doing 30-day closings? And I said, yeah, I actually just did a 20-day closing. So yes, 30-day closings on purchases all day long. I think because they're getting ABC Bank over here, who's telling them 45 days. And like you said, not having that communication, not having that ability to just pick up the phone and call someone direct and getting the runaround can add days to the process.
Yeah, I don't think the lending person, the mortgage lending person at Wells Fargo is going to give you their cell phone number. I mean, I've never gotten a cell phone number of a lending person at Wells Fargo. So, in conclusion, I told people last night on Facebook that I thought that COVID had added 5% value to their house. And the reason why I said that was with the multiple offer situations, it's driving prices up. Interest rates are still at an all-time low. So a lot of people tell me, Brad, I can get top dollar for my house, but then I've got to go buy a house. Well, folks, it's not a seller's market and it's not a buyer's market. It's a perfect storm market. And I've been saying this for a long time. Buyers are getting the best programs and the best rates, and sellers are getting the best price. But COVID has added on a $200,000 house. I would say COVID's added $10,000 to their house. So last night I just told a guy that, I really think that COVID's added 5% value to your house because of supply and demand. And so that's where we're at on that.
And you hit it on the head when you said, and because it's a perfect storm, because interest rates are still so low versus years ago when you would buy high and sell high and that sort of situation. Interest rates weren't great. They're still low. So I've actually seen clients upgrade on their home, but yet save on their payment.
Absolutely. All right, folks. So that is episode 1. We want to try to keep these videos around 10 minutes because we know that 10 minutes, you go somewhere else after that. So once again, this is Brad Alexander and Kinta Went with Waterstone Mortgage. And we're going to try to be here with our busy lives once a week, just giving you updates on real estate, mortgage lending, local topics. Me and Kinta, we're going to try to not, but we are transparent, folks. So when we get talking, we're going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear the truth or not, you're going to get the truth from us. And we're not going to be those people that just tell you whatever you want to hear just to get your business. If it's the right time for you to buy, sell, or to get a loan or to not get a loan or whatever that is, we're going to tell you the truth. And that's the way we run our business.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank y'all. Y'all have a great day. If you have any questions, make sure you contact me or Kinta. See everybody soon.
Bye, guys.